Hi, we're Blake and Brittany, and 4 years ago we moved our family to rural southern Ecuador.
More interesting than 4 years, however, is the fact that only 4 months separated our decision day and our departure day.
4 months might not sound like a long time to prepare to move one's family to a whole new country, and because it's not. There's a lot to do to get ready for this sort of move, the equivalent of a full-time job for several months.
So call us crazy, but don't call us unstrategic.
Unstrategic.
Mostly because we're not totally sure that's a word, but also because we were the opposite of unstrategic.
Strategic? We approached the overwhelming task of preparing for our move in a relatively short amount of time in a fairly orderly manner.
Not one thing at a time, because there was a lot of overlap.
But we did enough research at the start to know about how much time we needed to allot for each major task and plotted them out the best we could.
Some tasks were time sensitive, not just on the US side of things, but in Ecuador too. Like background checks were going to expire after so long, and tourist visas expire. So we had to have purpose and we had to have a plan.
We've met plenty of people, even families with kids, who came here without much purpose or any sort of plan. And some of them are doing just fine.
But some of the floundering we've witnessed could have been mitigated with a bit more foresight. And we do recommend thorough preparation when changing countries.
So what does thorough preparation actually look like?
Here are 15 things we had to accomplish between decision day and departure day.
4 months. Number 1, told our families.
So this happened rather suddenly. Everyone knew we'd been talking, for years and years and years about moving. But when we made the decision, we made it. And it seemed rather abrupt. And we told our families on Mother's Day, which was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that was hard. So it's never easy telling your family that you're moving, right? And we've moved plenty of times, but just within the States, right? In the US.
And I don't know, we've always been kind of, dreamers, talkers a little bit, had the big ideas, or maybe we'll do this, or maybe we'll do that. But they knew as soon as we told them that this was not us just dreaming and this wasn't us talking. Something about it, like we could just see it on their faces, like, oh, we really are moving to Ecuador. Everyone knew. And it was kind of devastating for them, and it was kind of devastating for us too, even though we were excited about it. That was the first thing, and one of the hardest things.
Telling your family that you're moving the grandkids overseas, right, is going to be, it's going to be tough. Credit to our parents.
Lots of credit.
Lots of credit, because they both understood our move and agreed that, okay, we're going to support you and we're going to visit you. And they have.
They didn't hold it against us, even though they did truly wish we didn't do it. But yeah, from the get-go, like, well, we'll come visit. And that meant a lot, especially in those months of preparation. We've met a lot of people here whose families won't come visit. And it's not feasible for everyone, we get it. But we've been really blessed, and even before we made the move, to know that our families were on our side. Number 2, we applied for passports for the children. And I think, did we have to get ours renewed? I think we got ours renewed.
Yeah, we got them renewed at the same time.
Yeah.
And so that was an adventure all on its own.
Yeah, because this was during COVID, all of this,
yeah.
which made everything more complicated. Because, you guys all know what it was like. There were just fewer appointments, more restrictions. Everything was, I think, exasperated.
Yeah, we had to find a passport office that we could apply to. That was almost like a 2-hour drive away.
Yeah, there just weren't a lot of appointments available. And with the kids, we had to be there in person.
With all the kids. And we had a foster daughter at the time, too.
Yeah, so we had 5 children in the passport office. And it did, once we got the appointments made, it did go really smoothly. But there was also quite a long wait time, and so we couldn't wait at all. We had to get those passports.
Had to pay for the expedited passport process.
Yeah, first thing, get the passports in hand, because otherwise all of this is for nothing.
Yeah.
And we're actually looking now, in a year, those passports will expire, since we've been here for 4 years. And now we're looking into having to renew the kids' passports from the Ecuadorian side. So a new adventure that I'm sure we'll do a video on.
Number 3, we met with a visa attorney from Ecuador pretty much immediately. So we found a company, a recommended company down here in our area.
Yeah, really good to go with someone local to your area as opposed to a different part of the country.
Yeah, and there's a number of professionals out there who offer visa services for expats looking to move, and the process is, how would you describe it? Fluid, complex,
ever-changing.
I mean, you can by all means try to do it yourself.
And we do speak Spanish. I mean, I already did at that point, so we could have tried to do it ourselves. But we do not one bit regret paying professionals to smooth that process for us.
Yeah, so over Zoom, we were able to meet with the visa attorneys. We had a couple different attorneys that worked with us. And so we were able to get everything started, the process started, all the requirements we needed, right? All the paperwork and background checks and everything we needed to have in hand when we got to Ecuador, let alone for our visa process the few months after we were on the ground.
And it's hard to get things shipped to Ecuador, things like documents. There's not a national postal service, so you're paying FedEx or DHL. It's expensive and complicated. And so coming with that paperwork in hand is really valuable and gives you a leg up. And you won't know what to bring necessarily if you don't have someone walking you through the process. So we really recommend working with a visa attorney before you even start your move. Get the documents while you're still in the U.S. Yeah. Now, some of those do expire, so you have to be aware of that too. If you get your background checks too early, they won't do you any good there. We worked with an attorney called, a firm called Ablitco. And we can post a link to that. And we're actually going to be doing a video soon with one of the attorneys out of that office to talk a little bit about the visa process further. But definitely worth the time to have a consultation and start that process before you land in the country.
Much, much easier.
Yeah. Number 4, Blake quit his job.
Yeah. I worked as long as I could because as we go through other of these 15 things we did, it was such an all-consuming process between packing and building all the stuff we had to put together and
visiting family out of state.
Packing up the house and selling the cars. Like all of the stuff required, I was working 2 full-time jobs just getting us ready to go.
So several months before departure, he did give his notice, and it would have been nice to get another few months of salary, but we balanced that with the insanity of getting ready to leave. I was a stay-at-home mom at that point, and so I took on the new full-time job of getting us ready as well.
Obviously, we were in a financial position to be able to quit my job at that time, thankfully. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to do this at all, I think.
Yeah.
Number 5, we contracted with a shipping agency to haul all of our stuff down here.
And most people don't do that. Most people don't need to do that. It's expensive to ship a household's worth of belongings to a different country. We had to, because Blake has a lot of specialized tools for his blacksmith and knife smithing, blade smithing?
His
shop. Yeah. Things that we probably could not find here, cannot replace here, or it'd be really, really expensive to replace here. And so we knew that we would have to bring his tools down. And at that point, we're like, well, we're going to bring everything. So,
well, kind of everything.
Most things. So we met, again, virtually over Zoom with an Ecuadorian shipping firm out of Cuenca that came recommended by I think we saw an interview with, if you're watching a video on Ecuador, you may know of JP and Amelia, who have a really well-known relocation life abroad channel. They did an interview with Paul Wilchis, who was our shipping agent, and he walked us through the process, which is pretty complicated. So again, it was really great having someone sort of spearheading that for us instead of trying to do it ourselves. I think we would have had a lot of issues in customs if we had tried to do that ourselves.
Yeah, it would have been a nightmare. So the thing about bureaucracy in Ecuador is it's like bureaucracy anywhere. It's a paperwork nightmare, but it's like Latin America, it's all in who you know. Yeah. So connections are 100% the way through everything. And so that's why paying someone a little bit of money to help you do this process is so worth it. And this, also, so we shipped a shipping container, right? Like a big old metal shipping container.
Yeah, 40-foot container.
Was it 40 foot?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
The one that fits on the back of a semi.
It might have been 40 foot.
I think it is.
But we did this in that time. If you remember a number of years back when the shipping container crisis was going on around the world.
Big backlog again
Huge
during
backlog.
COVID.
During COVID. And so our container was delayed. Let's see, we got here
At
in
the port
September.
of Seattle?
Well, Port of Seattle,
yeah.
then it went to Canada, then it went to Panama, then it was all over the world.
We had to pay storage fees, which made it more expensive, and it delayed its arrival to Ecuador.
For months.
For months.
We didn't get it till December.
Yeah, instead of September.
Yeah.
Which was fine because, of course, we packed, the necessities in our suitcases. But even just the preparing to ship the container, like there was a very specific process.
Very specific
You
process.
had to have an itemized, what is that
Manifest.
word? Manifest. Every single box had to be numbered, and the contents of every single box detailed in a spreadsheet. On the flip side of that, like it was so helpful when we got to Ecuador and we finally got the container, because when we were trying to figure out where was what was where, we could just search on the spreadsheet.
On the spreadsheet, you could say what box, and you'd find everything you needed.
That? I don't remember. We still sometimes search the spreadsheet because we don't remember if we brought something or not. So that was great because I'm not a very organized packer typically, but that was kind of forced into it. And we had to do that too, right? Because customs has very specific laws You're
and
allowed
rules.
to bring so many pounds of children.
Children, so many pounds of children.
Clothing for each child. So many
electronics.
how
like
many
that.
televisions per person, that kind of thing. And so we had to be really clear because you don't want to have to pay fines and you didn't want to have
taxes.
items confiscated. And so that was an enormous undertaking, packing up 6 people.
That was probably
a household.
one of the biggest chunks of all this.
Huge. But we don't regret it at all.
No.
We were able to bring like 30 boxes of books with us. And books are hard to find here, especially in English, and they're expensive. So having those is like, we don't regret it. That's amazing.
Bringing our books and bringing my tools.
Huge.
That was,
I actually, we didn't bring a lot of furniture. I don't know why. We had space. We should have brought more furniture.
Should have brought more.
We'll do another video on, shipping, a more thorough video just on that sometime. But that was a huge preparation, a huge component that went into it. So number 6, we acquired the visa documentations, and we already talked about that a little bit, but basically the attorney we met with had a whole list of required documents. We were from different states. The children and Blake were born in Arizona. I was born in Washington. We were married in Washington. We graduated from college, different places. So we had to seek out documents from all these different places, and each state has a different process.
And you have to get every single one of these documents apostilled, certified, like all different notarized, all different processes.
Different processes from different states.
In different states.
In different time frames.
Exactly.
And FBI background checks.
Not to mention the background checks and fingerprint, all that kind of stuff.
All of that. And again, fingerprinting, kind of like the passports, was more complicated due to COVID.
Yes.
And we all had to get fingerprinted. So, medical records for the kids. We needed, it was extensive. And again, it really, really helped to be organized from the get-go on that. Because once you send away for it, it's out of your hands and you just hope it all comes in on time and there aren't any issues. And thankfully, it went pretty smoothly for us.
It did. Yeah, we got everything we needed. Okay, number 7, packed.
And we talked about the container, but we also did each bring a suitcase. Was it just one suitcase per person, or did we bring 2
per person.
And a carry-on?
12 suitcases.
It was kind of crazy.
It was insane. 12 suitcases. Everyone had carry-ons and a cat.
And the cat. But it was good since our container was delayed so long. We had adequate clothes. We even brought some kitchen stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We brought some food items. And in our pantry, we gave away most things, but we had for several months this like enormous summer sausage.
Like one of those you get at Christmas in a giant basket. Right?
Yeah, and we're like, okay,
sausage.
you know what? We are not getting rid of this summer sausage. Like, that's crazy. And so the summer sausage originally went in a suitcase to come with us. And twice when we went to check the bags, one bag was overweight. Yeah. And we didn't want to pay the overweight fee, so pulled out the summer sausage and the bag went through fine. So we're standing there holding the summer sausage. The kids are mortified.
Yep. We put it in one of our son's backpacks.
Yeah, at that point we put it in the backpack. Because we're like, well, that can go through security. So we get to the security line and that's the bag they pull out and search separately. And then you see the guy and the TSA agent pull out this summer sausage and hold it up. And like,
whose is this?
Whose is this?
Yeah.
And the kids almost died. They were just could not believe it. They were so upset that
so
we
mortified.
insisted on bringing this summer sausage. but when we eventually got to our rental property in Ecuador, we didn't have any food with us. We had some leftover crackers from the airplane, and we had the summer sausage. So that was our first meal in Ecuador. No one was complaining at that point. It was really funny. It was funny to us. Still funny.
Still funny.
We still talk about it. Anyway, so we brought the basics in the suitcase. We brought clothes. We brought, I think, a frying pan, a spatula.
Basic stuff we
some
needed to
books.
survive, because we knew we thought we were only going to be without our container for 2 weeks. Not for 2-3 months.
And we didn't know what would come in the rental property we had secured, and so
because when a rental says furnished here,
we don't know what that means.
It's hard to say what that means. It could mean a couch and that's it.
And that was kind of our situation, but we'll get there in a second. But anyway, we had a pot, we had a pan, we had a spatula, we had a summer sausage. We were good. All right, number 8, we prepared our home for sale. We did need to sell our house. We decided not to rent it out. We thought about it briefly. And so, I mean, we don't need to get into the specifics of what that looks like, but that's just an extra level of involvement.
So on top of all of this madness, if you've ever sold a house, especially while you have kids, trying to prepare a house,
awful,
clean it, paint it, yard work, update it, all the stuff you do to get ready to sell a home. So doing all of that while doing all this extra stuff with kids, right, was just insane. But thankfully,
our neighbor was our real estate agent, Lauren. Hi, Lauren. She did a really great job.
She did an amazing job for us.
Thankfully, it sold really fast. But yeah, that was.
Looking back on that time period, I just can't even believe we survived. That's insane. All right, number 9, we bought plane tickets.
That made it really real. We flew the red eye from Seattle to Miami, then flew it's about 3.5 hours from Miami to Quito, and then there's only one airline that flies from Quito to Loja. It doesn't fly every day of the week. Maybe now it does. Then it didn't. It didn't, though.
Okay.
It only flew, again, COVID.
Yeah.
It only flew several days a week and at certain hours. And so we had to, and this is still part of like the logistics of getting down here. You have to be really careful to weigh all those different flights and make sure you've got a connecting flight and so on with the different airlines. That was a big thing.
At the time, too, the tickets were cheap.
That was great,
That was great,
And we were only buying one-way tickets. I think they were only like $400 a person. So.
Or less, actually.
Yeah, that was buying one-way tickets. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, no plans of returning, and that was, it made it real, like Brittany said. That kind of cemented, okay, we've got the tickets.
Number 10, we got rid of stuff. Because while we were filling up our container, some things we couldn't bring, like yard tools, nothing that had yard debris on it. We couldn't bring, and some things we just didn't bring. Either we didn't want to, or we didn't think we would need. So we had to get rid of quite a bit, which is a big deal. I know a lot of people looking at being expats talk about that. Do we store stuff? Do we do an estate sale? Do we we gave away a lot of things. That was nice to be able to do.
Oh, our piano. That was
we gave
sad.
away,
But we gave it to Lauren.
So gave away furniture, food, toys,
all
clothes.
of my scrap metal. That was sad.
That was sad. That also can be time consuming, especially if you're trying to coordinate meeting up with people. We didn't really have time to organize a garage sale or anything like that.
And in all reality, we did this in less than 4 months because we had a date that we had to get the container filled and picked up by the shipping company.
And that was in August, right?
That was August. That was
we didn't
before
leave
we
until September.
Yeah.
So a lot of this had to be done, especially dealing with this stuff had to be done in less time. So getting rid of stuff, it's simple, but it was still kind of time consuming. A lot of logistics went into that. A lot of thrift store runs.
It's amazing how hard it is to get rid of stuff. All right, number 11, we secured a rental property before we even got here.
And some people advised us like, oh, just come, you can stay in a hotel and figure out, a rental when you get here. And that probably works well for a lot of people.
Well, especially if you're not bringing a whole lot with you.
Like kids and a cat. We're like, no, that's not really going to work for us. We need a landing place as soon as we get there. I can't imagine, staying in a hotel room with 4 kids and a cat indefinitely.
Yeah.
And there weren't many rentals, but at that time, there just wasn't a lot. People weren't moving, again, COVID, and so there wasn't a lot of vacancy. And so we started putting out the word on local, I think they use a lot of Facebook in Ecuador, and so we, made posts on local pages towards, in the Loja area that we were looking for a rental. And a rental agent contacted us and offered to, look for places for us. And we agreed. I think that's typically, any fee is paid by the owner of the property. So we didn't have to pay anything for that. And she came to us with 3 possibilities. Only one of them looked really viable for us. And we said yes, and we paid a month in advance to secure it. Like a month before we moved in, we wanted to, have it lined up so we didn't lose it. And we do not regret that at all. That was a great thing for us to have a place to land.
Yeah, and a long-term place to land, because
not one we had to move out of.
We hadn't bought this property yet. Hadn't even had no idea this place existed yet. So
yeah, we didn't know how long it would be until we had a place, and then of course we had to build a home, and so we were still there. We were there for about a year. About a year, yeah. Number 12, we did some shopping. We had reached out again on Facebook groups and tried to get an idea about things that might not be available in Ecuador that we may have wanted. And then we made purchases based on that, really.
So things like, there are secondary markets in the world, right? So if Sony makes a product for the United States, right, it's level A quality. And if they make something for cheaper markets, right, it's less quality. It's still Sony brand, but it's not as high a quality components. And so it was always recommended to buy or bring down more electronics, better quality electronics, things like that. Or other just various things that are harder to get here, harder to find here.
Yeah, we definitely had like 11 pounds of Jiffy peanut butter or something like that. Wait, no, Jif. It's Skippy and Jif. Not Jiffy.
Can't even remember the brands anymore.
Can't even remember. Yeah. And our kids still talk wistfully about that because they don't sell like the processed peanut butter here that tastes really good.
Oh yeah. We brought Chick-fil-A sauce too.
We did, and we brought maple syrup.
And maple syrup.
Now we can make our own Chick-fil-A sauce. And we've learned how to doctor like the all natural peanut butter that's like just nuts. We kind of doctor it to make it more processed, add a little oil and salt and so on to it. But the kids do miss their like name brand American peanut butter, which is for sale here, but really expensive, like $17, So we had containers full of syrup and peanut butter, basically.
I had a gallon jug of Tapatio.
We brought a lot of kids' clothes, in the next few sizes.
Lots of kids' clothes.
Yeah, and we're actually running, they've about outgrown it all. So when we go to the United States next, we'll probably stock up. And of course you can buy clothes here too, but they don't really have secondhand shops here in the same way. And we like being able to, buy used clothing for them, and it's just easier to do in person in the United States.
And our kids destroy everything they wear.
They do, so. Yeah. Aurora,
the boys.
The girl doesn't. The girl.
The girl. All right.
And we also, let's see, we also brought homeschool stuff because we weren't sure how long we would be homeschooling for. So we wanted to, bring what we would need to educate the children, and I don't know. So we tried to think ahead, and some things now it's like, well, that was kind of silly, but other things, yes, totally worth it. So.
Yeah. Okay, number 13, we sold our home and our cars.
Yeah, the home sold, like we said, which, did that leave us homeless, or did we time it well?
No, we timed it well. We were able to time it well because we moved in with your sister.
And we were going to be going on a long trip to Arizona, a week or two, I think, to visit your family, and then we were going to spend a few days. Yeah, I don't remember how long that was, a week maybe, leading from in between Arizona and departure. And we lived with my sister's family at that point. And so we timed the sale of the home well enough. It worked out thanks to the graciousness of my sister and getting to see your family. So the cars too, like selling, we got those sold, one of them right away. I think the truck took I don't think that sold until
after we were here.
Moved, but we had it figured out.
Yeah, we had a friend from church who sold it for us while we were here, which was cool. But yeah, I miss that truck.
Yeah, and it's a bummer now when we go back to the United States. we don't have a car. Of course we don't. Why would we, pay to have a car there that we use once every 2 or 3 years? But it takes, rental cars are really expensive. And since there are 6 of us, we don't fit in a sedan. We do in Ecuador, but we don't in the United States. And so it's just another kind of logistical component on visits now that we have to figure out. But got those sold. Another thing off the checklist. Number 4. Yeah, 14. We dealt with the cat. And originally we thought we would probably leave Ivan in the United States. He was only a year old. Yeah. And as much as we love Ivan, we understand that Ivan could, very happily live with someone else.
He's a cat.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
We feed him. We love him, but he's, kind of neutral toward us. Affectionate, but he would be just as affectionate with anyone else. I don't think it would have hurt his feelings.
No.
So we thought, well, we'll leave him. But we were asking the kids to give up so much, already. And we're so fond of fluffy orange little guy that we decided we would look into what it would take to bring him with us. And it wasn't that bad, we realized.
Yeah, bringing a cat is significantly easier than bringing dogs.
Especially a bigger dog.
Yeah, well, yeah. But it was a process we had to run through with our local vet and USDA paperwork.
It was a new process for the vet, too. They hadn't done it. So they were kind of learning alongside us. So some of those things are time sensitive. Like he had to have certain vaccines within certain amount of days of each other and of departure, arrival. We had to work the U.S. side of things and with the airline and with USDA, which involves some coordination, and also the Ecuadorian customs side.
Yeah, but it was funny because we had to do it wasn't a ton of work. It wasn't too bad. A few appointments and stuff like that we had to coordinate. But we had this whole thing of paperwork ready, and we had the cat with us because we had to carry him as a carry-on, right? He didn't go under the plane. And we checked him in, and the airline checked the paperwork, find whatever. And then we got to customs here in Ecuador, and they didn't care.
They didn't care
at
all.
They
didn't ask to see anything.
No.
So. And it was funny. We pulled him out of the carrier and security in the United
Seattle.
States. He didn't want to go back in.
No, we had to go to one of those special screening rooms, right, where they take you in and do a private TSA screening. And so I had to take him into one of those rooms so they could swab his kennel, right, his carry-on kennel.
It was one of those soft-sided that we could kind of put under the seat in front of us.
So, again, I don't want to say anything about profiling, but yes, poor cat. Obviously that was a big deal for him.
But it was fine. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant for any of us. I think Miami or Quito had a pet area where you could take them to the bathroom and stuff. And I think we tried, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not gonna perform for you." So we just put him back in. We had put little pads in his kennel, and he didn't eat or drink for the travel.
Yeah, he wouldn't. He was so stressed.
He just survived. We all just survived.
And now he's the king of the jungle.
Yeah, we're glad we brought him. He's got a really, really high quality of life here. Here he's indoor, outdoor, the king of the property. Yeah. Whereas back when we lived in Tacoma, he had to live inside. So it was worth bringing him. It wasn't that bad. He survived the travel. Not super happy. Lots of meowing, but we all did that.
We all meowed?
No, we didn't.
Oh.
We all survived.
We all survived. All right. And last, number 15, we said our goodbyes. That
was hard. And there's no way to sugarcoat that, of course.
So obviously, that's the hardest part of any move, right? And especially a big move, is saying goodbye to folks. And we had a lot of friends and family and church family and all of that we had to say goodbye to. And those are those moments where you recognize how many people care about you and
how much you care about people.
Yeah.
Thankful for technology, immigrants throughout the years, and goodbye was goodbye.
Goodbye forever, yeah.
And it's not really that way anymore. Not only have we been able to visit, but the kids can stay in touch with their friends. We stay in touch with our family and friends. In some ways, more now.
Yeah. No, we created WhatsApp groups with our families, both of our family groups. And we actually communicate way more often than we ever did living, 15, 20 minutes away from each other. So
that's great. Yeah, and we're able to talk to people all the time. But, Blake's mom was diagnosed with cancer that last visit. And, she ended up passing away 6 months later. And I don't know how it would have been different if if we'd stayed, if we would have been able to spend more time with her or not. Again, it was during COVID, and we'll never, we don't know. That was a horrible thing all of its own, but we do look back on, those particular goodbye with, a lot of sadness, and there's just no way to know. But like Blake said, it was, a good reminder that we were cared for and loved, and that, our life there had meaning, and our life here does too. So a lot ultimately to be thankful for.
There were many more things that we had to do, or that we did, of course, some of which aren't as checklistable, right, as this, but
lots of emoting, thinking, grieving, praying, some worrying.
Yeah, and all of that cost us time and energy too. And I'd say it was just as necessary and important as any of the other logistical pieces.
So don't forget to build in that permission to feel in the frenzy of your preparations. Don't save it all for when you land. Work through that process, the emotional process, as you're going.
So how does your list compare to ours? Let us know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to Average Family Abroad. And we... and the chickens. We'll see you on the next one. That's loud.
Hey!
Hey!
Stop!
Hey, chickens!
Hey! It's right there. It's just sitting there making that noise.
Well, I mean the ones down below too.
Yeah, but that one's right there.
I know.